Hi, it's Heather Boyd from Nurture Squared, and I am here today with Angela Sacco. She's the founder and owner of Between Mothers Prenatal Yoga Studio and Wellness Center in St. Catharines. And Angela has agreed to set aside about half an hour today to meet with me and interview her about her business. Now, I know Angela, after I moved to Niagara, her name came up pretty fast when I was opening up my practice. She has been in this field of prenatal yoga for about 21 years, going on 22 years, I think. And her goal is about empowering women. She runs prenatal yoga classes at her beautiful studio in St. Catharines, but she also has 100 births as a doula that she's helped out with, and has a really nice, rich history that includes being educated and working as a nurse, massage therapist, yoga instructor, obviously, wife, breast cancer survivor, and a mom. So Angela, thank you for taking a bit of time out of your busy day to meet with me today.
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. Did I miss anything? Did I miss anything?
No, I don't think so. Pet mom too. I love animals too.
A pet mom too, yes. Well, the reason I was so interested in interviewing you for Nurture Squared is because you've had a prenatal yoga practice professional practice for quite some time. And when I came to teach your prenatal classes about infant sleep, it was a vibrant and dynamic group of moms, and it was clear that you have a passion for what you do and that things are going really well in your business too. And so I wanted to tap into your experience a bit. So I wonder if you would share with us a little bit about how you got started with your business and kind of a little bit of how things got up off the ground.
So like you said, I've been in the business for several years, but under a different umbrella and a different studio, which kind of had a different idea, a different vision. And I had more of a streamlined vision of it just being women focused and like a one-stop shop where women could come when they're pregnant, carry on, have services while they're pregnant, like prenatal massage, and then afterwards lactation support. Now it's expanded and they have emotional support, a huge like referral system like yourself. So just that it can continue and be. So things aligned, and my daughter's gymnastics place was looking for a new build, and I said, would you like a subletter? And yeah, the universe aligned, and then I was able to do my vision, and I'm amazed at how well that's flowing. We lost sound.
It was me. It's all me. My boys are in the background, and I'm worried that they didn't turn down the noise enough. So I was muting it during your answer. Now, obviously with yoga, a lot of the focus is on mindfulness. So I'm wondering whether you can speak to the idea of mindset and mindfulness in terms of how you develop your business and develop your entrepreneurship.
Yeah, I think mindset is everything. It's so important because my goal is to empower women, and if to be empowered, I have to have the right mindset all the time. I can't come in looking like, I'm down. I have to be that confident, empowering person myself to be able to convey that to the women around me. So I feel like we always have to be on.
So in some days, I guess it's kind of the slogan, fake it till you make it, to be able to.
Yes. Some days you have to, like, last month we lost my grandmother right before one of my 6 p.m. classes. I found out that, we basically had to let her go. And, I have to be like, okay, this is why I do yoga. I can breathe. I can put myself together and be great for these women that I have to, you know, empower tonight. So it is all about mindset.
Well, and that brings up a really important point for me, especially since, you know, women in the helping professions often are wearing our hearts on our sleeves. We're empathetic. We want to make the world better. And yet at the same time, because we are involved in relationships that, you know, our goal is to support people. And that includes our little ones at home, and it includes the relationships within our family. And so often as a female entrepreneur, we're balancing so many things that we value greatly. How do you find a way of nurturing all of those things without feeling burnt out?
I exercise myself, like outside of the studio, because that is my workplace. So we have like a little home gym. So we do exercise at home, meditation. Qigong is a healing practice that I started when I was going through breast cancer. So trying to keep that physical, mental balance is really important. Sometimes it's just going for a walk with the dogs, you know, having a powwow with my husband. He's self-employed as well, so sometimes we have to be each other's, like, you know, cheerleader. Having a great support system around. So yeah, I think that self-care is so important when we're giving all the time.
Absolutely. That comes up a lot, that idea of self-care. And because of course you're in the yoga industry, that idea of self-care would be forefront a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And of course, when you started, your kids would have been really little. So you would have been balancing a lot of that too.
At one point, I was doing it all. I was like nursing, doing, you know, running to teach yoga classes. And yeah, I look back and I wonder, how did I do that in my young years? The good thing is, now that my kids are more mature, doing my own business was great timing.
Right. Well, I hear so many women say that they were doing it all, and it wasn't until they look back that they think, wow. And I think it's because we tend to carry on and don't want to give up the things that we value. But it sounds like you eventually settled in on one key area.
Yeah.
What led you to pick that? I mean, because obviously you had a lot of different areas you could have turned your focus towards.
I think those were the passions. Sticking with everything prenatal was my passion. My values didn't align so much with traditional medicine anymore. My main area was palliative, and oddly enough, that I would get cancer, but I did not do traditional like chemotherapy and radiation. So my values didn't quite align with the traditional medicine, even traditional labor and delivery. That's why I was like, well, I have an opportunity here to help people have a natural childbirth, you know, prepare them with tools, massage therapy, all those sort of things. So my focus went more that way than, and as far as being the massage therapist myself, that was kind of a physical limitation. As much as yoga as I did, my body just couldn't keep doing it anymore.
Yeah, that's a very intense hands-on.
Yeah. And I feel like I always got the people that wanted real deep tissue massage, and other than some prenatal, which I love, but then there was the deep tissue. So my hands, my arms were getting numb. So it was time.
It was time. Well, it's all about timing, isn't it? And sometimes it's not the timing we're expecting or the path we planned.
Right.
But when we follow our passions, we can find our niche, and we can find where our passion really lies for building that business and having it come from your heart.
Exactly.
So what would you, is there anything that has surprised you about being an entrepreneur that you weren't expecting?
That it's actually easier than I thought.
Tell me more about that, because you're the first person that has.
Well, I was so nervous and afraid about it because I don't really like the the technical side, the business side, like, the financial side. And my husband was always encouraging me to do it, and I'm like, yeah, but like, what if? And I don't want to be spending like 60 hours a week like on the computer or whatever. And I feel like that it's not the case. I feel like he does do the financial end of things. I have a good web person who, I feed information, she sets it up, and we have these little, okay, we got some work to do, let's block out 2 hours here and get it done. So I think the setting the time for it, allotting those times, and then it gives me that time to just do what I'm good at, which is what I wanted to do. So I'm not burning the candles at both ends. I am doing it. I'm finding joy in it, and it is easier than I thought. It's like, you build it, they will come.
That's fantastic. And it's really nice to hear you put it all that way. Because again, I think that what's been surprising for me is just, all the pieces of the business side of things that I never, ever expected to be working on. But you brought up something that has come up in a few other interviews, most notably when I interviewed Don Root about getting help, like not doing this alone. Your spouse does the financial side, you have someone doing web support. How early on in your business did your spouse was kind of built in to the picture, but how early in your business did you recruit this outside help? Were you up and running and right from the get-go?
Right from the get-go. Yeah, I belong to my husband's sisters developed this female group years ago, and usually go on a little retreat for 3 or 4 days every year. And they were always like, Angela, you need to do this. You need to go out on your own. And so everybody was like pumping me up to do this. So my husband has the financial background, and my niece had the web design, and she goes, I'll do the web. He's like, I'll do the finances. So, you just have to take that leap of faith. And we have a saying, fortune favors the brave. And it's worked out. So they've continued to be that support. But what I think I've shocked them as well is that, like, I handle all my social media, and they'll be like, oh, you did that? And I'm like, yeah, that was me. I did that. So so I am stepping out of the box and doing more than I originally had anticipated on my own. So I am getting more into that, and be more confident in that myself as well.
I think your speaker's cutting out a little bit.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Oh, that's nice and clear. Great.
Okay.
So you said fortune favors the brave. And I think that idea of bravery comes up a lot in entrepreneurship too, especially for those of us who are, could end up devoting all of our time to our roles at home, because that role has so much to take care of that it could end up taking up all of our time. But the bravery to step away from that, at least.
And that's that secure paycheck, right? That, you're used to this amount of money, like, some people are so afraid of the ebbs and flows of income. And we've both taken that leap, and it's worked out, in our favor.
Good. Was there ever a time where it was not going as expected and you wondered whether to change course?
Not change course, but you always have that moment of self-doubt. you know, it always creeps up, especially I think in women. Why is this class low? Oh my God, am I not good enough? Like, you know, what's happening? And, you know, you always have that like, you know, and then I think the understanding that there is ebbs and flows in business. There is cycles where you're gonna have a little dip in numbers, and just be okay with that, that it's gonna come back. Just keep doing what you do, and be good at it, and it'll come back.
Awesome.
You
Yeah,
know?
do what you do and be good at it. Well, and I think that's part of when you're following your passion and you have skill in it and expertise in it, and you can be a relatable, empathetic person that's good at connecting with others, then that seems like the perfect blend to keep things going, even when things inevitably go through that ebb and flow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been looking a lot lately at the idea of habits and how good habits and daily habits allow us to trim the amount of time it might take us to do important things, or that allow us to make sure that we're doing the things that are important to us. What role would habits have for you in running your business or keeping a nice balance between business and other responsibilities?
Well, like I said, the healthy habits of taking care of yourself. I feel like my husband's probably a little bit better at this than I am, but doing the stuff to take care for yourself. So working out, you could be frustrated and feeling blah. Sometimes we call it the Mondays, and you work out, then you're like, okay, now I'm in a better space. Or it could be meditation. Definitely Qigong. Qigong is a very whole body practice, and it really, I feel like, turns the switch back to good. So those sort of habits are probably the eating healthy. You know, those particular habits are very important to keep going in a positive attitude.
Good, fantastic. I wonder, and we've hit on this a little bit, but if you could speak to what were the major challenges that you've had over the course of your business, and not just within the business, because of course, things happening behind the scenes affect everything in our life. But what challenges or hurdles have you experienced, and how did you leap over them, or climb or crawl over them?
Fortunately, I haven't had too many challenges. It's, like I said, it's been surprisingly, you know, smooth and happy journey. I feel like other people, like other I don't want to call them staff, because they're not necessarily staff, but, you know, finding the right people who have the same work ethic, the same that values that stick. So it's hard to find like another instructor or another person to fill your space. Like I have a couple backups, which are good. I guess sometimes that letting go, I guess, is what, because you want to do it all and be that person, and it's very hard to let go and let somebody else fill your role. So a couple times I, you know, either, you know, jogged a vacation, or I have to go to a birth and have somebody fill in, and learning that it's going to be okay if I'm not there. You know, one was, you know, several days in a row, she filled in, everybody loved her. And I'm like, okay, like this can be okay without me.
So I hear you saying two things there. That it sounds like one of these things is to have a village, like to have a village of women that that you can rely on, and that share values, and that sense of village creates a space for you to be able to thrive, and everyone else
Right.
thrives. And then the second piece of that, which really speaks volumes, is that idea of not trying to be everything to everybody, Because if you are, then you know, there's less room for that collaboration or less room for that big, really deep concept of letting go and knowing that even without us, and I mean, this happens in parenting too, right? Even without us, letting go of our kids in the same way that we can let go of relationships and let go of things that aren't, that we're not necessarily needed for as intently as maybe we think we are needed. Good. What parting words would you have for advice for entrepreneurs in the helping professions?
Go for it.
Nice. Go for it.
Be brave, go for it. There's such a sense of satisfaction in doing what you love and your passion and spreading that passion, that it'll come. It'll happen. You know, you ask and the universe will provide.
That's beautiful. Beautiful. Now, Angela, where can people get in touch with you if they're looking to find out more?
My website at betweenmothers.ca, Instagram, I have Between Mothers, Facebook, I have, and anywhere you can message me in all the avenues, venues, phone, text. I'm pretty available, and I always tell my clients too, once you're mine, you're free to communicate with me and contact me about anything. Nothing's too silly. So I'm very available on social media, website, easy to find. Betweenmothers.ca is the website, and
Terrific. Angela, I know we are both very busy moms and entrepreneurs that have a lot of burners on. So I want to say thank you again for taking the time today. It's been so rewarding to get to tap into people's expertise, and you were no exception today. So thank you.
It was fun. Thanks so much.
It was fun. Thanks. And have a great day, Angela.
You too.
Bye now.
Bye.